Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We want to chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. First timer on Ron Siegel Radio, Amberly Lago. Welcome.
Thank you. And I love your radio voice. You are so smooth.
It's that dark FM radio voice.
Yeah.
Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You know there's always something great to celebrate. Let's see, what do we say? National Chewing Gum Day, I see we've got on there. And I don't know about, okay. If you're old like me, you might remember, sometimes you feel like a mint, sometimes you don't. Anybody remember that one? Put in the chat if you remember. Sometimes you feel, what comes right after that? Sometimes you feel like a mint. With your double mint gum. Yeah, well, I guess I didn't even give you enough time to write it in chat, did I? Well, I do get carried away every once in a while. I wasn't on last couple of days. So, I have a lot to say. So we're going to start saying, well, what else do we have? I don't know about this one, Josh. I think this one must be a national event because we're looking at this and National Mulled Cider Day. It's going to be 90 degrees here in the formerly Golden State. So I don't know whether we want to be dealing with, I'm going to have, maybe something cold to drink, an iced tea. Well, it's not 5 o'clock here yet, but it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So we may have something different, but I don't know about hot cider for today. That might be going a little bit too much overboard. Let's see what's going on in the markets right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 108 points. S&P 500 flat. It's up $1. Or no, I'm sorry, it's not $1. It's 1 point, not $1. Don't want to get that confused. I know I'll get the hate mail telling me that you don't know what you're talking about, Siegel. That might be true, but I do know that it's up 1 point. NASDAQ is up 14. Oil's down, is up 92 cents a barrel. Do we even want to look at making everybody ill this morning? It is a nice day here in Southern California. I know that some of our fellow citizens are not enjoying the day. We have a lot of thought and prayer going out to all of our friends, family, listeners along the Eastern Seaboard. A friend of mine just moved from Palm Springs or Palm Desert area. It's only 110 there today, I think 115, but moved to North Carolina. So I am thinking about our friends that have made that move. It's a little bit, little challenging out there. And I know there's a lot of cleanup. Hopefully your friends and family are all safe out there. But, we don't get that kind of rain here in Southern California, but I digress. $4.69 a gallon of gasoline in California. Ow! $4.69. Well, we like taxes, fees, 28% gets added to the regular price. Josh, you're in the low about 340 now. Is that it? Okay. AAA says 393, but we know better than that. And wait a second. Wait. We've got to stop this right now. Amberly, you're at $2.70 a gallon of gasoline out there in Texas.
It's a lot better prices for gas out here for sure, but I drive electric, so well, my daughter drives a truck, but I drive electric, so I don't ever have to pull into the gas station unless I'm pulling into Buc-ee's to charge my car.
Okay, so you got it made well, but then again, the what are they using to create that electricity? I think it's
I know, and I had an F-250 for 10 years, and I loved it, but I chose this car because of the self-driving, and it helps me be able, I've got a severe injury on my right leg, and so I was driving with my left foot a lot of times.
That's
And
challenging.
oh yeah, it was pretty challenging, but my daughter's the one who talked me into getting a Tesla, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm more of a truck girl." But I love it. I've had it since 2020. I got it, and that's when the world shut down, and I didn't need to drive anywhere anyway.
Well, so it's kind of ironic. Although I digress, which I do all the time. So my father-in-law couldn't use his legs for quite a while. He had MS, and he drove a truck forever. Almost as long as I knew him, he drove a truck. But everything was controlled by the hand controls.
Yeah.
But 273 out there in Texas is what the statewide average is. Josh and I have figured out, because he's in Nevada, and they AAA says 393. It's almost always a half a dollar cheaper when you're in a big city. Now, the idea of the Tesla, I don't know if you saw this, but Florida, they had some big problems in certain areas they're showing with Teslas along the coast.
Really?
And yeah, what happened was apparently the battery in electric cars doesn't do too well with salt water.
Oh, wow.
And they had some salt water came, from the storms and the overflows. And they have showed some pictures of a Tesla causing a house fire. So,
oh my goodness.
be
Well, I'm
careful
glad
out
you're-
there. Even, I'm still driving. I've got all of our cars are still, we're not electric. We haven't gone that way yet. We're still in the gasoline stage. And hopefully, maybe gas prices, if we can get some semblance of sanity in California, which I doubt, maybe we'll get gas prices to come down to maybe somewhere close to the state the national numbers. Even Hawaii is 10 cents a gallon cheaper than we are in California.
Wow.
Now here we go. Let's talk about this part of it too, because why is Hawaii cheaper than California? Well, they ship the gas in on the ocean. Okay. On barges. Okay. Well, here's the problem. Guess what's going on? There's a strike about to happen along the whole eastern seaboard. And we're watching that one very, very closely, because that strike might have some serious impacts on getting food to people, because yes, we do ship food in on the ocean. We ship in a lot of other goods and commodities. So we're going to have some big issues, because some of the longshoremen, they've already said, we're going to take today off also, being that we're going to go on strike tonight. And the president already came out. They did wake him up this morning, and he came out, and he actually made a couple comments. He was talking about the hurricane. If you could hear, someone needed to get him some Dayquil before he went on stage on TV, because, through all the coughing and whatnot, he said he's got a cold. But here's the concept is that they asked at one other point, will he intervene in the strike? And he said, no. He said, it's free commerce. We got the man that loves regulation will not go in and help the longshoremen.
Wow.
I just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to learn harnessing grit and resilience. We'll learn about that. What are we talking about there? Yeah, that's what I'm learning with you all this morning. That's one of the beauties of Ron Siegel Radio, is that I get to learn right along with you. Don't fall for these real estate agent myths. All that and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
As the economy slows, do you know anyone worried about job loss? At Siegel Lending Team, we offer the Home Select Loan. Think of it as a financial superhero cape for homeowners with good income and credit. It not only saves your home, but also throws a life ring to your credit score. Because who needs stress when you can have peace of mind? Let's secure your future with a smile. Visit rsrhomeselect.com. rsrhomeselect.com. NMLS 217037.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They don't tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put into your mortgage calculator. Get that mortgage calculator on our free app, our mobile app, ronismylender.com, ronismylender.com. What did the rates do on Friday? These are what rates locked at on average. Conforming 30-year fixed, 6.059. That was down. Jumbo 30-year fixed, 6.487. That was up. FHA 30-year fixed, 5.874. That was down. VA, the best loan on the market. We thank our veterans every single day. 30-year fixed, 5.458. That was down. USDA 30-year fixed, 5.937. That was down. Every morning, as early as the data allows, we put out a special report. It is free to you. All you need to do is subscribe. rsrlinks.com/market minute. rsrlinks.com/market minute. You can get that for free. Let's see what's going on this morning in the markets. Well, the NASDAQ is now up 2.96. And let's see where our lovely bond market is doing. Now, remember, the mortgage market is, and I put this in our reports all the time, the mortgages don't follow the bonds exactly. What drives mortgages is the mortgage-backed security. But there is some influence from the 10-year Treasury. The 10-year Treasury is up 2 basis points right now to 3.78. 2 basis points is the same as 0.02%. It's easier just to say basis points. The mortgage bond is down 12 basis points. When the price on the bond goes down, that means interest rates are going up. Not excited about that, but it's not a whole lot. We're still just fluctuating around. We'll see when the jobs report comes out. We'll get some better ideas on what's going on there. But 2 weeks ago, we broke a story about a potential International Longshoremen's Association strike, which is set to go into effect 11 hours and 45 minutes from now. The International Longshoremen's Association, can I just say ILA? Largest union in North America, would impact the loading and unloading of ships at some of the largest ports. It has an impact on roughly 50% of U.S. imports. Just last week, the ports that will be impacted received $14 billion in goods. The strike can have a big impact on certain companies that import a lot, like Walmart. Additionally, roughly a third of car imports, especially those from Europe, would be negatively impacted. There are 2 ways that the strike can be resolved, an agreement is made on compensation, or the administration can evoke the Taft-Hartley Act. This act gives the president the power to intervene if it impacts the health and safety of the nation, and this would fall under that category. If utilized, it provides an 80-day cooling off period where the union employees go back to work while negotiations are made. Do you think the president is going to do that?
You know better than that.
Is the president awake? I mean, it's just an issue going on there. The White House made an official statement on the matter saying, we've never invoked Taft-Hartley to break a strike and are not considering doing so now, unquote. As far as negotiations on a resolution, they're not even talking. There's no talk scheduled before tonight. So it appears that this strike is going to happen and will not be a good thing for inflation or the economy. Hopefully it does not have as big or long of an impact as what we saw during COVID, but clearly that was one of the components responsible for the inflation we saw when supply chains were crippled. The potential inflation will be transitory and temporary. Where have we heard that before? But can be bad for the bond market and mortgage rates. On the economy, it's estimated to cost us $6 billion a day. Now, think about that. $6 billion a day. Do we really care about $6 billion a day? I mean, you think about that concept. And right now, I think we're spending $1 trillion a year just on interest on the national debt, with no one even talking about saving anything on there. Our national debt, and if you want to see it, the usdebtclock.org has it out there, $35.4 trillion. $35.4 trillion. Now, here's the issue. That works out to $104,946 per citizen. Illegals don't get charged. And $269,000 per taxpayer. What does that tell you? Well, there's a lot more citizens than there are taxpayers. So just the bottom line right there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. This episode of Ron Siegel Radio, we're going to sit down with Amberly Lago, the founder of the Unstoppable Life Mastermind, best-selling author, international speaker. Wow. Amberly shares her personal journey of overcoming tremendous adversity, including surviving 34 surgeries after a devastating motorcycle accident, and how she turned her pain into purpose by embracing her P.A.C.E.R method. Amberly has empowered thousands of people to harness grit and resilience for unstoppable success in both business and life. Welcome, Amberly. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Holy cow, 34. Do they have your own room at the hospital? 34 surgeries.
Oh, well, it was a party when I finally got to leave. It was, all the nurses came in, the pain doctors. I had a team of doctors, and it was quite the farewell, but I could not wait to get out of that hospital. 34 surgeries, but I had a 1% chance of saving my leg, and it was just a surgery, then a day of recovery, then a surgery, then a day of recovery. And I took that 1% chance. It was my glimmer of hope, and it took a lot of grit, and they saved it. But that's why I was speaking earlier about having a little bit of a leg issue, is because I was
34 surgeries. That sounds like a lot of a leg issue.
Yeah, but I learned to drive with my left. Actually, I used to drive with my left foot, and I would drive with my right leg up on the dashboard because the circulation and the pain was so bad. And it was really pretty pathetic when I broke my arm on my crutches coming down the stairs. So I now had a broken leg and a broken arm, but I still drove. I'd just prop my arm up and prop my right leg up and be like, look out for the girl driving the F-250 down the road.
That's pretty interesting. Driving an F-250, one arm, one leg.
Yeah. That's how we do it. Get her done.
So do you Was it, were you racing a motorcycle, or you're like an Evil Knievel, or what were you doing?
No, I definitely wasn't Evil Knievel. I was cruising down Ventura Boulevard, actually, and I was only going about 19 miles an hour. And I know that because when you crash a motorcycle, the speedometer sticks to whatever speed that you were going. But I was cruising along, and this SUV shot out of a parking lot, and I got T-boned.
Wow, you're lucky to be here.
Oh, you know what? I'm so lucky because I was thrown 30 feet and I was just sliding across the asphalt. And when I came to a stop, my leg was crumbled into pieces. And I did not know it at the time, but there was a lot of blood, of course, but my femoral artery was actually severed. And luckily, I had a guy that came over right away, took his belt off, and made a tourniquet on my leg. So he really saved my life. And paramedics were right down the street at a Coffee Bean, so they started running towards me before they even got the call, and then rushed to the hospital. So I think that I was really lucky that I had, this guardian angel make a tourniquet, that the paramedics were right down the street, and that I had a husband that they put me in induced coma, and my husband, they wanted to amputate. My husband was like, "No, I don't want you to amputate her leg. I want her to wake up and it to be with both of her legs and for it to be her choice." And so I chose to keep my leg.
That's us. So it sounds like it's a good choice for you.
Yeah, it has been a tremendous road of recovery. And I think pain has been one of my biggest teachers. I was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome after the accident, as a result of the accident, and it's ranked highest on the pain scale. There's supposedly no known cure. And when I was diagnosed, I didn't want to believe it, so I went to another doctor. He told me the same thing. Didn't want to believe it. I was like, "This can't be my life." Went to another doctor, and I was told that I would never walk again, never work again, be permanently disabled. And it took about 2 years of in and out of a wheelchair, but I learned how to walk again. I travel all over the country. And I just want to share that, we aren't defined by our circumstances, but I think we're defined by our resilience.
Yeah. Well, I guess that makes you an expert on adversity. So how did you get through all of that? What was it that what was the background of getting through that?
Well, I think that growing up in Texas and being an athlete and a professional dancer, and I had coaches that helped me with a mindset to get through hard times. Also, I didn't have a real easy childhood, which really helped me because every hard thing that I went through really prepared me for this time in my life, which was the most horrible, catastrophic thing I'd ever been through. And so I think it really started with focusing on what I could control and letting go of what I couldn't, like really getting into gratitude because I'm not going to lie, I was spiraling down into a depression. I remember, the nurses would come in and they would have to pull these bandages off my leg, and my leg was held together by these metal bars. And it was like re-breaking my leg every time they had to lift my leg up. And I just remember thinking, okay, I've got a choice here. I can, spiral down into a depression, into despair, or I can choose to focus on the things that I do have. And I was like, you know what? I'm alive. I have a family that loves me. I still have my leg for today. I can breathe. I've got all these nice nurses taking care of me, friends and family that were coming to see me. And so I know this sounds so simple, but I started focusing on gratitude every day, and it was alchemy. It really changes what you can't do into what you can do, and what you don't have into what you do have. And so gratitude was how I started to shift my mindset. And then I had people go, "Well, weren't you so angry at that guy that hit you?" And I didn't have time to be focused on anger. All I did was focus on what could I do to be the healthiest I could be mentally, spiritually, and physically. And so from everything I ate, um, praying, uh, focusing on actually still reaching out and calling people. I remember calling clients and maybe this is kind of crazy, but I would call them and say, hey, I might be in ICU right now, but third quarter, I'm getting out of here and we are going to finish strong. Or just giving them exercise tips or writing their nutritional plans for them, because I was in the fitness industry for 26 years. And so I noticed when I could help someone else, it made me feel good. It made me feel like I could still be in service and I still had a purpose.
That's amazing. We're going to continue our conversation with Amberly Lago when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Don't fall for these real estate agent myths. We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Don't fall for these real estate agent myths. When it's time to buy or sell a home, one of the most important decisions you'll make is who you'll work with as your agent. That choice will have an impact on your entire experience and how smoothly it goes. As you figure out who you'll partner with, it's important to know what to expect and what to look for. Unfortunately, there may be some myths holding you back from making the best decision possible. So let's take some time to address those and make sure you have the information you need to find the right agent for you. Myth number 1, all real estate agents are the same. Do you really believe anything that it's like saying anything is the same? So we know that one is certainly not true. You might think all agents are the same, so it doesn't matter who you work with, but in reality, agents have varying levels of experience, specialties, and market knowledge, which can have big impact on your results. For example, you'll get much better service and advice from someone who is a true expert in their field. As Business Insider explains, quote, if you're planning to get your hair done for a special event, probably not me, I'm back, you'd want to visit a stylist who specially has experience doing that type of work. You wouldn't make an appointment with someone who primarily does kids' hair. The same concept applies to finding a real estate agent. If you have a smaller budget, you probably don't want to work with an agent who exclusively sells multi-million-dollar properties, unquote. Take some time to talk with each agent you're considering. Ask about their experience level and what they specialize in. This will help you find the one that's the best fit for your search. Myth number 2, you can save money by not using an agent. As a seller, you may think you can save money by not working with a pro. However, the expertise, negotiation skills, and market knowledge an agent provides generally saves you money and helps you avoid making costly mistakes. Without that guidance, you could find yourself doing something like overpricing your house. And that's a misstep that'll cost you when it sits on the market far too long. That's why U.S. News and Real Estate says, quote, when it comes to buying or selling your home, hiring a professional to guide you through the process can save you money and headaches. It pays to have someone on your side who's well-versed in the nuances of the market and can help ensure you get the best possible deal unquote. Myth number 3, agents will push you to spend money. Easy for me to say. You may also be worried an agent will push you to buy a more expensive house in order to increase their commission, but that's not how that should go. A good agent will respect your budget and work hard to find a home that truly fits your financial situation and needs. With their market know-how, they'll point you toward the best option for you rather than try to pad their own pockets on your dime. As NerdWallet explains, quote, among other things, a good buyer's agent will find homes for sale. A buyer's agent will help you understand the type of home you can afford in the current market, find listed homes that match your needs and price range, and then help you narrow the options to the properties worth considering, unquote. Myth number 4, market conditions are the same everywhere. So why do I need a pro? Maybe you believe housing market conditions are the same no matter where you are, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Real estate markets are highly localized and conditions can vary widely from one area to another. This is why you can't just pick anyone you find online. You should choose an agent who's an expert on your specific local market. As a recent article in Bankrate says, quote, real estate is very localized and you want someone who's extremely knowledgeable about the market in your area, unquote. You'll know you found the right person when they can explain the national trends and how your area stacks up to. That way you're guaranteed to get the full picture when you ask, how's the market? Bottom line, don't let myths keep you from the expert guidance you deserve. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I've got a tool that tells me the background. It's called a real estate track record. And it gives me the background and track record of almost every real estate agent in the country. So even though I might not be the agent for you, and I'm not because I'm not a real estate agent, I have a license, but I just refer you to somebody that really makes good sense for you. And I can find out about them. Again, if you want more information about your market, we give that to you for free. rsrlinks.com/market report. rsrlinks.com/market report. If you want a real estate track record on an agent, well, you got to call me for that one. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Continuing our conversation this morning. I am chatting with Amberly Lago. Amazing story. If you missed her background of her story, shame on you. You're going to have to go back to the earlier segment where where Amberly really gave us some great information, and it's an amazing story. So, Amberly, how do you find joy when you're going through all this pain and hardship? How do you do that?
Well, you know what? I discovered that there are absolutely ways to, we all have pain, whether it's physical or emotional or financial pain, but there are absolutely ways to build joy despite living with pain. I know this because I live in chronic pain every single day. And I think one of the things that helps me the most is community and connection. In fact, I had a lot of misconceptions about grit. I thought that, Angela Duckworth says that grit is the key predictor of success. And it's not whether, you're how good looking you are, how much money you have, how talented, it's your ability to work hard for long periods of time. So I was working, and I had no joy. I was all about the grit. And what I realized is, I had health scares and confused it for heroic acts. And I confused fear for function and sacrifice for success. And I realized the piece that was missing out of my life was connection and community. And I realized that grit with connection is where you find resilience and joy. Grit without connection, it just feels like resistance. It feels like you're clawing your way to the top. It's hitting rock bottom, or and so I really want to share that, to reach out, that you don't have to do it alone. That whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a new mom. I remember being a new mom and feeling so alone. I was an entrepreneur and I felt so alone in my journey. And we were talking before we started the show about how I knew Greg Reed. One of the things that in the very beginning of my entrepreneurial journey as a speaker, coach, and author, was I got in Greg Reed's mastermind, and that inspired me to do my own mastermind. And I think that is what brings me such joy, is I get to help other women thrive and really succeed in their businesses. But I think joy is really finding the things that you love to do, whether that's dancing or listening to music. Um, but it's increasing your energy. I think energy is everything, and everything is energy.
Interesting. Is grit something we can learn?
Absolutely. I think it's something we can learn, but I think it doesn't come easy. And, and I don't know, this just kind of popped in my head of, I'm really glad that my oldest daughter, she saw me. I was a single mom when she was a year old, and I started from the ground up. I started my fitness business. I bought a house after I'd lost my house and lost everything. And she saw that, and she saw how hard I worked. And then she studied hard, and now she is going to Yale. She's in medical school. I mean,
Wow.
she's just got some grit. My youngest daughter, I'm so glad that she's a horseback rider, and she gets thrown off her horse and she gets back on. She gets disappointed when her horse is bucking her or rearing up, and she learns grit. She learns resilience, and it brings her joy to get to ride. And so I think it's important to let our kids struggle a little bit, let them fight some of their own battles. Let them, I told my daughter, I'm like, look, we're going to help you buy a truck, but it's up to you to buy the gas. And she wants bigger tires and bigger rims, and she wants um, a new bumper, like all these things. And we're like, you know what? Then get to work, get some grit, and you can buy those tires and wheels. Well, she did. She started working, started her online business. She's 16, and she's shipping out stuff all the time. Well, she's shipping out Breyer horses and custom horses that she makes.
Wait. She's shipping out horses?
Little, I should say model horses. I
Oh,
shouldn't say like
holy
real
cow.
horses.
16 and shipping horses is
She's
pretty
practicing
amazing.
for that.
Okay, so you've got a P.A.C.E.R methodology. What is a P.A.C.E.R methodology?
Well, you know what? It actually came from, I was sitting at the dinner table with my husband, and he looked at me and he was like, you really need to pace yourself. I guess I looked really tired. And as an entrepreneur, I was kind of offended when he said, pace yourself. And I thought, you know what? I do pace myself. And I got a dinner napkin and I started writing down. I wrote the word pace, and then I figured out I needed to add a R. I learned that the hard way. But I developed this pacer, which allows me to get through challenges, and I share it with others, whether they're going through fear or pain or anxiety, or they're just sad, to run through this quick checklist of P stands for perspective, how you can quickly shift your perspective. And the easiest way to do that is with gratitude. And sometimes I know it can be hard, but practicing gratitude every day can really shift your perspective, and it changes your mindset. And it allowed me to be in acceptance for where I was. So I have to really be in acceptance. And I think it's important to start where you are, um, know where you're going. I was in denial for a long time about this nerve disease and the scars, and it led me to really bad choices. It led me to isolating, and being acceptance led me to being able to be vulnerable and have connection and community. And so connection and community is the next part of Pacer. And then it takes endurance. And so it's where you tap into your why to get through anyhow. And then the last part of the Pacer methodology is rest. And I've had to really make rest a part of my business strategy, instead of thinking of resting as quitting. It's like resting is how I'm going to recover, rejuvenate, and then be able to do even more.
Well, and you told me earlier you have a Tesla, so the rest is recharge also.
That's right.
We're gonna continue our conversation with Amberly Lago when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numero 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. As usual, I talk too much, so the Borrow Smart segment is just going to be letting you know that here's the concept. If you understand compound interest, you might earn it. If you don't understand it, you pay it. And when we talk about Borrow Smart and the Home Select loan from Geneva Financial, you understand interest. And by understanding that, you can, without making any extra payments on your house, you can actually have your house paid off in anywhere from 3 to 7 or 8 years. I've seen it as low as 1 or 2 years with no extra payments. You just have to understand how interest works. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, Amberly Lago, expert mindset coach, best-selling author, keynote speaker, we're chatting with her this morning. And we got, unfortunately, we only have a short time left and a lot to still cover. But how do you have joy through this journey with all these ups and downs, Amberly?
I really think it's surrounding yourself with the right people. I always say you got to get rid of the doggy downers and stick with the puppy uppers. Like, stick with people with good energy, who lift you up, who have big dreams, who believe in you. I know that for a long time after my motorcycle accident, I didn't really believe in myself. And I think sometimes you need somebody to believe in you so you can believe in yourself. That's how it was for me anyway. And I had a doctor that believed in me. My husband believed in me. And most of all, my children believed in me. I think that joy comes from deep within us. And so it's important to really take care of ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually. It's not just one thing. It's not, I think nowadays a lot of people just want a quick fix. They want to take a pill, feel better. And it's like, it's really mentally, physically, spiritually. And when I know that I can do the things, I have a morning ritual. And I know everybody's morning ritual has to really work for them. But for me, I have a gratitude practice where I have a group of ladies. We call ourselves the God Squad, and we write 10 things down and we share that with each other. I get on my knees and I pray. That helps me feel more spiritually connected. I am also
That's
sober.
missing a lot in our country as a whole right now.
I think so too. It's a lot. It is. I was listening to a country song about that the other day.
Yeah. It's a shame that we've gotten away from that, because you can see, I think our whole country, we'd have a lot of people would be a lot happier than we see right now. Everyone's wanting to argue with each other over things that are pretty minutia.
Yeah.
And just get back to that part of things. Now your focus in your business is on helping women, is that right?
Yeah, I help women who want to get on more stages, who want to write a book, who want to start their own podcast, who want to share their message to make a positive impact in the world. And it's so fulfilling to me. And I think that's important for you to spark joy, is to do something that really is fulfilling to you, that you love to do. And like I said before, whether that's dance, I started dancing when I was 3 years old. And so I had a speaker agent one time that told me, do not dance on stage. It is not professional. And I was like, I can't help it. It just brings me joy. Like I get on stage, I don't plan it. It just comes out because I'm being so fulfilled being on stage and connecting with all these people that I just start dancing. But I love being able to help other women. In
And
fact,
that makes you feel real too, doesn't it?
you know what? I think having a purpose and doing something that you love, I think it's so important. And whether, people sometimes go, well, I don't know what my purpose is. Well, it's usually connected to something that brings you joy, something that you would do that you're good at, that you may not even think you're good at because it comes easy for you. But yeah, I love being able to see these women. In fact, right after this, I have one of my mastermind members who is going to be on my show. I have a show called the Amberly Lago Show, and she's going to be at the studio. I like to give these women a platform and put them on stage and make introductions for them and just see their businesses grow. But more than that, to see their confidence grow and their belief in themselves.
That's amazing. So do you, I think I saw that you've got an event coming up, and we created, because it's got a longer link, I put in the rsrlinks.com/Amberly event, and it goes right to your Unstoppable Success Summit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I love this summit. Last year we had John Gordon and Ben Newman and Rachel Luna and many more. And then this year we have this Unstoppable Success Summit. It's for entrepreneurs and for people who really want to grow and level up their business. We've got Trent Shelton coming this year. We've got Leah Valencia, Renee Rodriguez, and Brooke Hemingway, and more. And I also give my mastermind members, they get 5 minutes on stage to share like a mini TED style talk. So it's a lot of fun. It's a day and a half, and it's really not for just inspiration or motivation. It's to really learn tips, tools, and strategies to level up your business and your mindset.
Where's that at?
It's in Dallas, Texas, April 25th and 26th.
April 25th and 26th in Dallas, Texas. Go visit the website, rsrlinks.com/Amberly event, and it'll get you right there. Get registered and go learn from someone who's done it. And when you really talk about things, pulling yourself up from your bootstraps and getting going from challenging times to now being able to help others. He loves watching where people can actually go out and dedicate themselves to doing what they're enjoying, but helping others at the same time. So glad to see you're doing well. If I can help you in any way, give us a call. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.